Hello again, everyone. I'm here today with some new Archer and Olive products. So one is the Acrylograph markers in the 0.7 millimeter tip. So I'm going to put a link below to the prior video where I swatched the 3 millimeter pens, which is these down here below. I was under the impression when I purchased those that they were the smaller ones, but they are in fact the bigger ones. So I went ahead and got the smaller ones in the same jewel selection colors. And so I'm just going to swatch these in the same notebooks that I swatched those other ones. And I'd had some requests or questions about whether other pens would be able to write over these acrylic markers. So I'm going to test some markers or some pens, some different pens on top of these to see how it works out. And then this last item, I'm just going to open this up real quick because I'm not really going to show it any more than just showing the style. So this is a new style of notebook that they just started to carry, and it had this cute little bunny on it, and I put it in with my Acrylograph order because I love rabbits. And I figured I could also show you the A5 size. So that's what this is. This is the A5 size. And actually this cover feels really nice, nicer than some of the other covers I have from them. I have a couple of A5s from them, and the cover usually feels a little rougher than this. But usually there's some sort of image up here, or they even have blank ones, and then there's nothing on the back, but it always comes with this pen loop, which I really like. And then this is dot grid paper, which is thicker paper. I don't know if it, does it say? Yeah, 160 GSM ultra thick paper. So that's what you're gonna get into in each of these notebooks, unless it says it's a different kind of paper. And it claims no ghosting, no bleeding, perfect for markers, fountain pens, and even paint. So the only thing that I have found that doesn't work that great on this paper is watercolor. Everything else that I've tried putting on it has done pretty well. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that one so you could see what the A5 notebook looks like, although it's pretty much the same as the others. Oh, and let me get the bookmarks out here. Yeah, so the books that I got before didn't have this little personalized bookmark from them. It just had the little bookmark ribbon, and that was it. And I also like the fact that this was a purple notebook, so that's pretty. All right, I'm going to put this back in the box, and then actually I'll leave it out of the box, but I'll put the box and the notebook aside. They always come in these boxes now. I don't know how I feel about the box. I mean, obviously you could reuse this box. It's a perfectly good box. It's pretty sturdy, so you could reuse it for ephemera or anything like that, which is generally what I'm using them for. But if you're just getting the notebook and you're not planning to do anything with the box, it seems a little wasteful. I know that it's protecting the book, and actually in this case, it probably was a good thing because you can see down here I had some pretty serious gouges into the the box when it was in shipping. But I don't know. I'm an advocate of having less waste when possible. All right, putting that down. So let's go on to these markers. And I will let me open the box first, and then I'll get the notebooks out that I'm going to test this on. So like last time, it has this blending palette here on this side. And then you have all the markers here in this little package here, and then you have the instructions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold back that part, and I just wanted to show you that it's the same setup as a little big to get in the thing. So it's the same setup as the larger markers. I'm actually going to get one of the larger markers out. Let me get the dark one because I'll get one dark and one light so that we can see what other pens look like on top of it. It's just easier to mark off a bigger space with the bigger markers. So let me get those two out. I'll put that container down below. And then these should be primed. I have not used them since I tested them on the channel. So these should be ready to go. We'll see how they start up after having sat for a little while, other than just shaking them. And then I'm going to test out these, which are going to be the same colors. I think I'm just going to swatch them below the swatches of the 3 millimeter. It's the same colors, it's just going to be a finer marker. That way you can kind of see the difference in the size. trying to figure out what would be the best way to do that. I'm going to leave this up here for now. I'll figure that out once we're going along here. Okay, so this is the narrow size. This, all of the stuff that I'm showing you today that I'm swatching in, I went into a little bit more detail in that last video that I put the link to below. So I would say check that out if you want to know about any of the other things that I'm showing you today. So here are the samples of the point, or the, see, this is how I messed up the first time. I thought it was 0.3 rather than 3, and then when I saw that it was big, I was like, oh, that seems kind of big for 0.3, which it is because it's not 0.3, it's 3 millimeter. Okay, so what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to put some larger swatches of the lighter color. Oh, it seems to be working just fine. I'm going to put a larger swatch of a lighter color down on the bottom. Let me go all the way to the middle here. And then I'm going to put a larger swatch of the darker color. And then I'm going to let these dry while I do the tests of the rest of the smaller markers. And then once this is dry, just to give it some dry time, I will try writing over it with some other writing instruments, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm not going to do the point or the 3 point millimeter anymore. So those swatches are waiting to dry. And then I'm also going to be pulling out this all black notebook, and where I have some other color swatches obviously, but this one is the one that I'm going to, I think I'm just going to do like a little squiggle above or below the other color so that we have enough room for all of these here. All right, so I'm going to leave them out of frame until I am using them. Let's see, so this is the white. I was really pretty impressed with the larger white. Let's see, so like the other ones, you're going to have to, I'll try and do that so you can see it a little bit here. So you'll shake it, and then you'll prime it by pushing down and letting the ink go into the nib. And with the white, it's kind of hard to tell, although I think I see it coming out. Okay, oh yeah. So I think we're all loaded up there. I'm gonna post the back of the pen there. It's nice that they do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this on top here. Oh, see, that's really nice. So you could certainly do some writing with that. And I won't do it on the white paper just because you won't be able to see it. So that's the white one. And then we have sort of this peachy color. None of the colors are named, so I don't really know what to call them other than this is a sort of orangey peachy color. Okay, again, I'm shaking and then pushing down at a 90-degree angle. Oh, see? Now this is what I was talking about when in the last video, where I was kind of happy that those markers did not do that. I'm going to try and get that to kind of go back in there. So with a lot of my Posca pens, you have this problem where the ink inside the marker tends to flow really, really quickly. Oh, these are in a different order. That's why. Okay, so that's this color here. Sorry, that's going to be confusing. Yeah, so this is this color, because I put them in a different order when I tested them. And it looks like the ink has gone back into the tip there, so that's good. But with my Posca markers, I feel like I waste a lot of ink because when I try to prime the markers, it comes out onto the paper in kind of a big blob like that. So I'm going to see if I can avoid that with the future ones. And this actually might be a good time. Well, no, then I'd have to rinse it off. So that's kind of why you have the empty blank marker in these sets. It's so that once you have a little puddle like that, and then you can mix a different color with it in the set after you've made a couple puddles, mix it together with this and then put it on the nib. So you'd essentially rub that into the color, and then you can write with just that color. But it just seems too messy for me, so I'm not going to deal with that right now. Okay, so this is the pink. That's the next one. So I will put it I'll put it above this one just so that it's not confusing. Okay, so I shook it up, and then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do, it's because I was using my left hand too, which I'm not, a little awkward. So I'm going to pump it like this so that I can see when it's coming out so it doesn't, yeah, okay. So that's a better way to do it. I was just kind of holding it down with the last one and I got an awful lot of ink. Okay. So this is the pink one. So this is this one and this one is the one below it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put that there. Okay. That works quite nicely. Actually, let's see what it looks like on top of another. If you layer it. Oh, layering's going to work fine. Works fine. Just wanted to test that on the darker color there. All right, and this is sort of a red. Oh yeah, they're in complete different order, so I'll have to make sure I keep track of where I'm putting the color. I might rearrange these in the case to be color order later. Okay, so, and maybe I should try this method. Oh, that one came out really quick. Maybe I'll try this method with my Posca pens too, of just really lightly dabbing on the tip when I need to prime it. So this is the dark red one. But the problem is, even if I try to do that with the Posca markers, they just like flood out. So I'm not quite sure. And this is really just so you can see the difference in line quality between these two markers, these two marker sizes. Okay, and it's going to be a little messy, but such is life these days. Life's definitely messy. Okay, so I'm going to pump it. Some markers flow down easier and quicker than others. Okay, that one's already there. So this is the lighter green color, which is this one here. So I'm going to do that on top of here. Lighter green over here. I really do love these colors. They're very, very pretty. And this will probably be much more useful. This is the size that I really did want the first time so that I could have something to write with in color. So that will work here. Okay, and then this one is the lighter blue color. And again, that one's coming out pretty fast. There we go. Okay, so that lighter blue color is here. And the tips on this lighter or the smaller color, smaller markers, does seem to be a little bit sturdier than the small or the larger tips. Oh man, I'm having trouble with my language today. I think they're actually reinforced at the tip. So these smaller ones are, so I think that's helpful to kind of keep the tips from getting ragged. But it still looks like they include a couple of extra tips. Yeah, and they even feel much harder, just the tips themselves. Okay, we're almost there. I'm going to do the darker blue. I'm just doing them as they're coming in the package. And yeah, that color is coming pretty fast. And then this is the darker blue here. This one probably shows up the least on the black paper. Okay, there we go. And then this is that beautiful sort of mustardy color here. You can tell by the caps. The caps are pretty close to the actual color, I would say. It's not always true of all markers. So let's go ahead and pump that one. All right. Yeah, so I only had that flooding issue of color flooding out with that one marker. And that was probably user error. So I would say gently pump as opposed to just holding it down, because then the ink is likely to flood out. Okay, and then the last one is this lovely sort of, I don't know, foresty green maybe? Because you can see the cap is pretty close to the color of that one. Oh, that's interesting. So I opened that one and the tip came right out. Well, I guess we'll see how they, oh, and that one seems to, very interesting. Well, it flew out. I put it back in there. Let's see how it works. Whether it works. Have to be careful with that marker. Well, at least now I know how they fit in there, right? Okay, it doesn't seem like it's gonna just fall out. It seemed like it had a little snappy thing that would fit into the back of the tip area here. Okay, so let's do this one. Yep, seems to work fine. And there we go. And I'm gonna do this darker one over that, and that looks fine too. And I will show you especially this little area here closer up so you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and close the black book now. I'm going to put this last marker away. And I think, well, it might need to dry a little. So I'm going to put that off to the side here. And I'm going to get my regular gel pen that I use. This is an Pentel Energel in free refill that's in this particular gel pen. So this color is a teal color, so you're probably not going to see it on the dark. So I'm going to write this on top of, oh, that looks actually really, really nice. I'm going to let it dry for a minute. I'm smudging. You can see a little bit of smudging there. I'm going to let that other half dry and see if there's smudging. But it definitely writes over it. This is a Micron PN in a brown color. So I'm going to try that there. That works fine. Let's see. Yeah, you can even see it on top of the dark blue. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, gel pens. Someone wanted to know specifically about gel pens. So that smaller turquoise one is a gel pen. And then I also have this sort of different sparkly gel pen. This one doesn't always write right away, so let me try it on. Oh, yep, worked fine. Works fine. I am going to leave it for a minute because this tends to be one that smudges quite a bit. So I am going to leave it for a little while and see after I've found the next pen to try whether whether it smudges at that point. Okay, and I also have a Pilot razor point pen. Let's go ahead and try that. Everything has been writing over it fine. Let's see. And then this is Thin Line. This is just like a brush pen. I think I got this as part of a subscription box or something. Let me see. It goes over just fine. That way you can see the difference between it going over and under. Again, I'm going to put these up to the screen or to the camera so that you can see them a little bit better after I've done these tests. And then I have a ClickArt Zebra pen. Yeah, so far everything has written just fine. I am going to do a fountain pen, and I'm going to do kind of an inexpensive fountain pen just because I don't want to mess any tips up. This is a Pilot, what they're now calling the Compass, but I bought it as the 1911 Junior. You're still getting writing on there, and it doesn't seem like it really has any residue on the pen itself. Okay, so now I'm going to put those away, and then I'm gonna do a smear test here for everything. Okay, so that particular one was the marker pen, completely wiped off. So just FYI, this is the ClickArt Zebra marker pen that completely wiped off. The and here, I'll put these closer to the screen here. So that was the marker pen down there in the middle, and that completely wiped off. The gel pen, even after letting it sit for a little while, seems to have smudged just a little, but everything else has been fine. Everything else seems to write just fine and doesn't smudge. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's all still from the lighter color that's coming off of my hand. So they will layer with each other. They will layer with each other and different pens. I would say always do a test before you really go crazy. But I would say that yes, gel pens do write on top of these. It's just a matter of whether it's going to smudge and how long it takes to dry so that it won't smudge. Because it looks like, it doesn't completely smudge off, unlike the Zebra click art pen did. But everything else seems to have done just fine. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to accomplish today. I'm trying to see if I have any other markers or pens that would be worth trying, but that's kind of the... I don't have a ballpoint pen, but I'm assuming a ballpoint would be not a problem. Ballpoint's just my least favorite pen, so that's why I don't have any handy on my desk. But like I said, that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me below, and I'll answer them when I can. And please subscribe so you can see future videos on my channel and keep track of them. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.